Certainly, there's a lot of momentum behind this rally, right? But if you take a look at valuations at the moment, are there fundamental arguments for there being further to go?
Definitely. Well, firstly, good morning. Thanks for having me back. Look, it's a fascinating time to be looking at the Japanese equity market at the moment. So, I think what we're seeing is it's almost like a perfect alignment between the interests of the government, the regulator, the exchange, and also the investors, both foreign and domestic. And the focus is, or one of the focuses is around corporate governance reform. And that in turn is driving corporates to do things that were maybe thought impossible to achieve even sort of 5-6 years ago. So, I think this really does have the potential to develop into one of these policy-driven, sustainable bull markets that we get in Japan sort of once a decade, Abenomics being the last example of that. But I think, in the initial stages, at least with foreign buying, it's really going to be focused on quite a limited number of companies. And that's what's going to make it quite an interesting stock pickers market. So, I think the focus areas will be around value, quality, and liquidity.
What's also been interesting is looking at the flows coming in from overseas buyers, right? And I do wonder how much of this is, the Warren Buffett effect, given that we have seen that positioning from US buyers over the last few weeks and months. But over the longer term, do you expect an impactful role to be played by these foreign investors?
Yeah, look, if you look historically, if you look at the bull markets that we've had in Japan since the end of the bubble in the late 80s, it's always been that there's been a pattern where there's been a structural change, a policy change, which has brought in foreign investors, and that has pushed the market higher. So I think this time around, there's a valuation argument there, given that half of the market is trading below book value, which is an area that the Tokyo Stock Exchange is definitely focused on at the moment. And it's just the fact that you are actually getting finally corporate governance change in Japan. And this is a thematic which has been, smoldering there since at least 2015, 2016. But we're now finally starting to see the results of that. And the potential catalysts or the reason why we're getting the focus now, I think part of it's geopolitical and part of it's economic, given that we're in an environment where we're suddenly coming out of deflation after 30 years of it.